My name is Julia Vitarello, and I am Mila's mother. And thank you, Art, for painting a bit of the backdrop of Mila's story. 3 years ago, Mila was diagnosed with Batten disease, which is a rare and fatal neurodegenerative condition. There were no treatments, there was no cure. I was told that my, at the time, very outgoing, seemingly incredibly healthy little daughter who was skiing and hiking and singing, the ABCs like every other kid, was going to lose all of her abilities and die in 5 years. And there's a lot more I could tell you about what happened over the last 3 years, but really what's most important is that in the year following her diagnosis, as you just saw from Art's presentation, an incredible effort was made by Dr. Timothy Yu and his team at Boston Children's Hospital, along with many others, to give Mila the chance at a treatment that was looking very promising for her in the lab. And at that same time, Mila was losing her abilities by the month, even by the week. She lost her vision completely. She lost her ability to speak. She was losing her ability to swallow and to walk. At the same time that a promising drug was getting close to being able to happen. And as a mother, as Mila's mother, I faced the question of the risk of treating Mila versus the risk of not treating Mila. And the answer to that was very, very simple for me. The risk of not treating Mila was very obvious every day. Her life was suddenly taken over by seizures, which took up most of the 12 hours of waking time that she had a day. She was losing everything so incredibly quickly that I knew exactly what her course was going to look like over a very short period of time. And no child with this form of Batten disease has ever lived. So, what happened afterwards was that Mila ended up receiving this treatment, which was a drug called Milacin, and she received that starting about almost 2 years ago. And Mila was 7 going into this treatment, which is quite progressed. But despite that, we've seen some really promising signs. And because of Milacin, which we've learned since then was the very first drug tailored to one single patient, Mila's quality of life and our life as a family, I'm just incredibly grateful, for where we are today. Mila turned 9 years old 2 days ago, which was a big milestone for us. And I'm here to thank the FDA because, the entire team at the FDA was incredibly thoughtful. They listened. They were very careful in understanding the risk-benefit analysis for Mila. They ensured that, all of you ensured that Mila's drug was rigorously tested and that it was safe for Mila, but at the same time understood the urgency and the promise that this drug possibly offered. So just thank you for being collaborators, for being partners with Dr. Yu and his team and all of us, and really assessing her specific situation and allowing us, as a family and as, a 9-year-old girl, to have a kind of a second chance at life. I'm always very honest about Mila's situation. I don't know what her future holds. She was 7 years old when she began this treatment. She had lost a lot. But despite losing a lot before that, it was a long shot. I have seen a lot of promising things. It is not black and white. Mila's life is not magically perfect, but many of her symptoms some of them have greatly improved. Some are stable. Some are not doing as well as I'd like, but we're learning because Mila's the first. And we have to learn a lot about dosing. And as Art implied, this is promising, but there is still a lot to learn. So I just really wanted to thank the FDA. I went into this thinking that the FDA were these guards at the gate and that maybe we wouldn't get through. And I realized afterwards that this was a discussion. It was a collaboration with Dr. Yu and his team. And it was an explanation of the potential of the drug, but also where Mila's life was headed and what her risk of not treating was like. And so just to end, I just wanted to show a very short little compilation of very recent, in the last probably month or two, videos, just short little video clips and photos of what Mila's life is like, really thanks to you allowing Mila this opportunity to have me listen.
wanna ride my bicycle. I wanna ride my bicycle. My grandma's here and my mommy's here too. You know what song I was singing to Mila this morning? Peanut butter, jelly. Peanut butter, jelly.
When the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints, oh, when the saints, oh, when the saints, oh, when the saints go marching in.
Mila, who is standing so well? Mommy's gonna let go a second. 1, 2, 3. Oop. Oop. Oh my goodness. Mila, are you standing so well? Mila says, I like to stand tall like a giraffe. Who is this tall stander? Who is this girl who's standing? Ah! Mila says, I'm eating my whole cupcake all by myself. All by myself. Mila, you want more? More? Yummy. Mila says, I'm eating my cupcake all by myself, Mommy. Is this my cute girl that says, ha, ha, ha? So cute. Mila says,
I'm not cute, I'm dangerous.
I'm not cute, I'm dangerous.
What's fun, Mila?
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Thank you very, very much for being here. If I could ask one question, we would anticipate that parents, family members, other patient advocates would want to engage with FDA in partnership along with our academic investigators in future situations where individualized therapies are being developed. From your experience, what went well and where might we improve in future cases?
That's a really good question. I think, Doctor, you and I had have had an ongoing, very good relationship of, Dr. You's been very honest and upfront from the very beginning of the promise that Millicent might offer, but also the reality of this, that we really don't know that much. And we went into this knowing that Mila's cells, her brain cells, some of them were in a process probably of dying that may not be able to be stopped. And other ones were in maybe potentially in a place where they could be stopped. And that Mila's disease is obviously extremely complicated and there are many different symptoms, and that this was not a magic cure, and that our hope was that we could potentially stop this disease, and that in fact what we're seeing right now I think is in line with what we had talked about from the very beginning, which is that some symptoms have improved, some of them have stabilized, and some of them are not doing as well. And I think that setting expectations from a PI to a family is extremely important, as you know, and I'm sure I don't need to tell all of you that when you have a parent like myself who's being told that their child is going to die, it's something that I can't even put into words. I mean, the rest of my life just disappeared that day. And so you cling to anything that looks like hope. And I think that in this case, like Art explained, is there is actually, in fact, a lot of promise in this platform. But we have to be realistic because every disease is different. We don't know until more children, I hope many more children across many diseases are given an opportunity like this. Hopefully it'll be in time for them. And hopefully we'll learn a lot from this to understand what we can stop and help and improve and what we can't possibly. And expectations for parents is really important. Communication between PIs and parents, very transparent expectations, even to the point where up until, honestly, days practically before we moved to Boston to begin Mila's treatment, Dr. Yu did not promise this was going to happen because he was working with all of you. This had never been done before. And we didn't even buy plane tickets. We moved at the very last minute. And so transparency, honesty is incredibly important. And I think that I can't speak for Dr. Yu, but I know that Dr. Yu and his team and myself all took a very honest and collaborative approach with all of you guys. And I know you all did the same with us in the sense that we told it exactly as it was. I wrote a letter and I gave it to the FDA through Dr. Yu that really explained towards the end, like, this is where Mila is today and this is where she was 3 months ago. And I listed very specific symptoms. And I was very honest in that letter and a little bit nervous, to be honest, to say the truth, which was I didn't know if we started this treatment even 1 month later, whether or not it was in time for Mila, and I might change my mind. And that was honest. And so that would be kind of my advice.
Thank you very much again.